My people, we're there. We're there, we're there, we're there, we're there, we're there. We are here together to learn and to share and to form bonds. We're there in other house. So again, we're going to share 4 wise Jamaican sayings, right? So every week we choose 4 from the thousands. And let me tell you, I have compiled many Jamaican sayings, and we're going to explore them. But we're not just telling you what they are, we're trying to see what life lessons we can learn. Because these are wise sayings, they are loaded with mother wit, as we call them. They're loaded with the wisdom of our ancestors that have been handed down to us. We have inherited this wisdom. And if we don't make use of it, then their experiences would have been in vain. I firmly believe that we should learn not just from our own experiences, but from the experiences of others. And our ancestors have been through the mills, they have been in the trenches, they have tested and tried things. Some worked out, some never worked out. And guess what? We are now benefiting, we can benefit from this storehouse of knowledge and wit and wisdom so that we don't have to go down into the trench. We can see through their eyes and we can avoid certain things that are going to stall us or that are going to derail us, right? So 4 more wise sayings. They say a word to the wise will suffice. Just one word to a wise person will be enough. So the first wise saying that we're going to look at is when they say, "My dreams here." When you dream to somebody, so you might be talking to somebody and say, my dreams here last night, or my dreams say such and such, and especially if the person being referred to has already passed, right? So especially if the person who you dreamt about has already gone over to the other side, is now an ancestor, and this person appeared to you in your dreams. Jamaicans look into dreams very, very carefully, right? We take dreams very seriously. So you either go and say, well, my dreams to the person, or the person dream me, because in our language, in the Patois, and I'm very proud of my Patois. As a matter of fact, I refer to it as our Jamaican language. We are bilingual. Our official language is English language, but the Jamaican language, I believe, can stand on its own. It's a very strong and powerful language, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm passionate about my Patois. I am very good at English. I am a strong English speaker and writer, but I take pride in the fact that I can switch it up. I can move effortlessly from one to the next, right? In our Jamaican language, we have a tendency to put the blame or to put the action in the hands of the other person or the other thing. So for example, if you're peeling an orange and you get cut, you wouldn't say, I was cut by the knife. You'd have said, the knife cut me. The knife cut me, right? Or the whatever the thing is, it did the action. You didn't do anything. I don't know what in our psyche makes us do that. So if you see your ancestor in a dream, you're more likely to say, him dream me last night, or she dream me, so she dreamed me last night. and we will try to interpret what the message was that this departed loved one is trying to tell us. We would more likely believe that there is some warning or there's some precautionary thing that we need to do. So we tend to think of our ancestors as looking out for us, looking after us from the other side, right? That's a predominant feature among our people. And if we get a dream, a special dream from one of our ancestors, we will look into it. So, for example, in our culture, if you dream and you see a fish, somebody frying fish or somebody catching fish, you would interpret that as being somebody is going to get pregnant, right? So if your ancestor appears to you with fish, and then somebody else appear in the dream, or some young girl or some of your female relative, you would interpret that as that person is or will shortly become pregnant. And sometimes we get premonitions, right? Like that. And they come to pass, as well as it might not happen. And then we find, the way superstitions go, if they don't turn out that way, you find a way to justify it, right? Now, there was a point in my life where this whole thing about the dream state, and how the subconscious works in the dream state, that was a very strong point at one time in my life. And it got to the point where I used to, what I found happening, I would dream about someone who was alive, right? I would dream about the person, and then the very next day I would see that person, and it became so often. And I would say, how is it happening? And sometimes, because most times when you dream, you don't remember, right? So you just wake up and go about your affairs. And actually, you might have several dreams each night. And it's when I actually saw the people, then it will come back to me and say, hey, I saw this person in my dream just last night, right? And it was happening several times. And what I did was I started recording my dreams, and I was saying, well, I need to find out what my subconscious is communicating to me. Maybe there are lessons here, maybe there are precautionary things I need to take, steps I need to take. Why am I seeing these people? It was proof to me. I saw that as one of the solid proofs, and several things have happened to me in my life where I can say this is a solid proof that the subconscious is at work and is powerful. And I looked at it as one of those ways. But then I decided that, you know what? I'm going to, to be honest, I started becoming afraid because I was saying, I don't want to dream about something really bad, and then I would expect this to happen. I would start preparing for it to happen, and maybe as a result of that, my subconscious would pull that to me, and I kind of left that realm, that looking into the dream realm and how that can impact the reality. I Because of not wanting to have a negative dream and then be focusing on that, right? So I would prefer to do my visualizations, have my vision board, program my subconscious with what I want and not what is floating out there for it to gather and bring to me, right? So because of that, I left that part of it. But we in Jamaica here, we are very deeply rooted in interpreting dreams. So if a Jamaican see you, whether on the road or you go to visit, and them say, my dream about you last night, they are going to be looking into it deeply. They're going to try to find out what is the connection, what is the message, and especially if a loved one who has passed appears in their dream, they're going to be talking about it for some time, and they're going to be trying to figure out what is the message, what am I to do, or what am I to not do, right? Because it's a very, and Jamaicans will even use the symbolism of the dream to buy their lotto numbers. We have several lottery based games here in Jamaica, and most of them involve numbers or symbolism. And there is actually, I think there's a booklet that you can actually purchase that tells you how that number matches up with the symbolism of your dreams, right? What your dreams say, or the predominant something that stands out to you in your daily activities, right? So the dream thing is a very big thing with us. So the next saying that we have is the two nyami nyami, the two licky licky, and the nyami nyami. The root is actually an African root. We are predominantly of African heritage. And even the whole thing of repeating the word, right? It's a West African thing in terms of the West African languages have a tendency to repeat, whether it's repeating the verb or repeating the adjective or even the noun, right? So nyami nyami would be, and licky licky, that would be a repetition of the adjective. You're describing the person as nyami nyami, meaning they eat too much, they eat a lot. And here in Jamaica, if somebody tell you to nyami nyami, to licky licky, they're telling you to be careful because you can get catch. Now, when you get catch, that means somebody has put something in the food that's going to cause you harm. Whether it's literally putting a poisonous substance in it to cause your injury or cause your death, or we have a strong belief in obia in Jamaica. Some people would call it witchcraft, some people call it voodoo. It's something that most persons will not admit to, but a lot of us, we believe that that it exists and that it has power. And some even go to the point of seeking someone knowledgeable in that so as to neutralize if they think that that somebody got to obey them, and they need now to do something to counteract that. They will go to the extent of seeking out a reader woman, reader man to neutralize that, right? So you are cautioned not to go around eating from any and everybody, because persons can get substances from the obia man, especially if they specifically want to harm you. And if you consume that, take it into your vessel, then it can bring you harm. So in our culture, here in Jamaica, we have many, many, many street vendors. You go on the streets in Kingston or Spanish Town or Portmore, any of the major towns, and you will see somebody over here cooking soup along the side of the road, big pot of soup, chicken foot soup, manish water, which is the goats, any kind of soup, or boiling soup with corn. You can purchase that from the side of the road. You can get any kind of cooked lunch, right? From rice and peas, chicken, breakfast, which is mainly like dumplings and ackee and saltfish, green bananas, yams, with steamed callaloo, anything, whether it's in the morning, lunch, or dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner. You just have to know where to go, and you will see these people along the side of the road. And I'm not someone, me personally, I don't like buying from street vendors. I don't like buying cooked food from street vendors because a lot of the times you see them, they don't even have any facility there to wash up or to clean the utensils. Some do, and some don't. But you will have persons who they buy from them routinely, and you will be cautioned about this, right? Don't be too yummy yummy and eat from anybody. Look at the surroundings, look at the utensils, observe how this person move, and before you decide that you're going to eat from this person. From time to time, you might hear something come up in the news. I remember when I was little, right? When I was a little girl growing up here in Jamaica, and this story broke the news where this man was in Halfway Tree, so that's the capital of one of our parishes, right? It's a major town. And he used to sell patties. Now, our patties in Jamaica, you would have a crust, a flour, a dough crust, and inside that you would put meat, right? So usually beef, typically beef. More recently, they start putting in fish patty. Now you have aki patty, you have anything like that can go. But traditionally, the Jamaican beef patty is very popular, and persons who have migrated from Jamaica gone to live in America, Canada, England, wherever, they still want to have their patties, right? They will if you're coming up, they ask you to buy a box of patties, or these companies, patty companies, have establishments abroad in the major cities to satisfy the desire for what Jamaicans living abroad. So the patty is a big thing. And I remember this news broke where this man, this street vendor, he was putting dog's meat in the patties. Now we know that there are cultures around the world where dog is eaten, but certainly not in Jamaica. We don't consider it the dog meat as a food, right? We see the dog as as a matter of fact, if somebody tell you you're a dog, that's the lowest thing that you can be. No Jamaican that I know would willingly go and purchase a dog meat patty. But here we had so many persons. This guy was he was popular. He was so popular in Halfway Tree, right? And people were going there buying their dog meat patties, and they had no clue because them yummy yummy and then licky licky. And every now and then you hear something like that, right? Not often, because we know that in the Chinese culture they eat dogs. We have a lot of Chinese restaurants here in Jamaica, and from time to time, people would. Um, I've never seen one where they actually had proof, but people would speculate just because, just being humans, you would speculate and say, "Boy, yeah, persons who will not eat at a Chinese restaurant because they know that that's their culture. To them, it's just as regular meat as any meat that a Jamaican would eat, right? But there are persons who refuse to eat at a Chinese restaurant because of that stigma, right? So it's a big thing here where you will say, boy, I'm not from certain people, because sometimes you will hear a Jamaican say, boy, not even water, I don't want from that person. Not even a glass of water. I will not even ask for a glass of water. We're very skeptical when it comes to food. You have to come really good to please us with food. Jamaicans pride themselves as the best cooks in the world. They are they criticize everybody else's food, right? You cannot please a Jamaican's palate. If you find yourself being told by a Jamaican that your food is good, trust and believe your food is good, good. right? We pride ourselves in that. At the same time, some of us very yummy yummy, very licky, and we will get catch. Enough time we get catch because the belly, we also call it wanga gut and wanga belly. Or somebody might say, boy, you can't leave your belly at your yard. Sometimes if you left your belly at your yard, what I mean is, so literally that would be leave your belly at your yard, leave your stomach at your yard. That means don't come on the road with your hungry belly and then you're going to end up having to eat whatever is available, which might not be the best thing for you, right? So if a Jamaican tell a boy, left your belly at your yard, man, you couldn't left your belly at your yard, they mean don't come to their house or don't come in their presence and want food. Another saying we have regarding food is you give a pea soup for laughter, you give laugh for pea soup. So that will mean you go to the person's house with the sole intention of getting some dinner, and you make sure to go there at the time that you know is close to dinner time, and you will stand around giving jokes, right? Entertaining the person with conversation, just waiting on the food to be ready. So you give laugh the gungo soup or you give laugh the pea soup. And there is also a thing that we say that the woman will catch the man, right? She use food and catch him. That means she might put things in the food that when he eats it, it will make him stay with her. And this again is coming from that whole notion of the power of obia, the power of being able to tie somebody. That's how we say she tie him. She used the stew peas and the red peas soup and the rice and peas and chicken and the whatever to tie the man. So once him eat that and he keeps coming back for more of that, he will not be able to leave her. And some women actually do believe this, right? And it baffles them. It baffles them when they do all the tying and all the cooking and the man still leave because they haven't yet realized that you cannot tie a man that does not want to be tied. Right? So with all of the nice stew peas and she put in everything where she could put in and everything where she get from the Obia man and she nice it up and she give him and it still leave. He still leaves. And she's wondering how, right? You can't tie someone to you and you shouldn't want to. If you have to tie this person to you, what's the whole point, right? The person should stay because they want to stay. That's a healthy relationship. The person shouldn't be there even if there is power in this tying and catching, even if there is power in that. Why would you want to have someone there who does not want to be there? That doesn't make sense to me personally, but to each his own. So the next saying that we have is, again, we're going to see the repetition of words here. When you say you're too money, or you're too galley, or girly, right? You're too money, that means we're referring here to the woman. So if the woman is money, that means she's promiscuous. She takes a lot of men. And if the man is galley, he too is promiscuous and he takes a lot of women, have a lot of girlfriends in every town, right? On every road. He has girl here, girl there, girl there. And likewise for the woman, she have a man there, a man there, a man there. I saw this meme once. Let me see if I can remember. It says something like um, a woman should have a man who pays her bill. A woman should have a man who pleases her sexually. A woman should have a man who is her friend who she can share her secrets with. A woman should have a man who fixes the stuff in her house for her, anything that's broken, right? So she should have a man who provides for her financially. She should have a man who pleases her sexually. She should have a man who is her friend, who she can confide in, and she should have a man to fix things around the house. And the last line said, it is better that these four men do not know each other. When I read that, that really got me, right? Because all along I'm thinking, okay, so all these characteristics are in the one man. She should have a man who's able to do everything. No, no, no. A man for this, a man for that, a man for this, a man for that. And it is best that these men do not know each other. So, and you do have some women who operate like that. They do. They might have several men to pay the bills, several, because they're high maintenance. Their bills are high. Several men. It's one man to pay the rent, one to do the hair and nails, one to do this, and she has the best friend. She has the main man at home who probably is the father of her kid and whatever else, right? Likewise, you will have the man who has a woman for this, and we is a saying we tend to say that men are good at compartmentalizing. They put their women in compartments, this for that, this for that, this for that, right? And so to them there's no conflict. Each mate has her role, and there's no conflict in his head, right? So that's out there as a theory, but there are women like that too, right? The thing though is the way society views promiscuity is different as it regards male and female. So if the man is galley galley, it's actually seen as a good thing here in Jamaican society when a man is galley gallis, or we call him a gallis, right? He's a gallis. um, he's seen as, yeah, somebody is seen as an alpha male who dominates the sexual scene and is able to attract all these women to him and is able to cater to them all sexually, and that's a good thing for him. That's bragging rights for him. When the woman is seen as money, that's actually the opposite for her. She's seen as loose. She's seen as a whore. She's called all kind of names. She's told that she'll never get anybody who wants her because she has been around the block, right? For the man, everybody will want him because he knows his stuff. For her, no one will want her, and there's a great disparity, obviously, in how we look at these two human beings, these two adults who have decided to be promiscuous, right? So in Jamaica, we have a thing called the matey. So the matey would be like the side chick, right? So the matey will take your man. She take what people man. She's good at um, taking away your man from you, and she will go out just to do it. Sometimes she will do that just for the sake of proving that she can take your man from you, right? So the matey is never on the same level as the wifey, or the girl, your steady girlfriend. The matey is always seen as less than, and she definitely does not have the same rights as the wifey. Um, so she's seen like as a parasitic, leechy kind of creature, who is looked down on, who is despised, even though he will go to her, he will confide in her. So the mate will know things about the wife, and the wife don't know anything about the mate, but the mate might know personal details about the wife, right? And to her, to a lot of these women who call themselves matey, we don't use side chick here in Jamaica, we say the matey. She will take pride to say, well, me can take your man. No matter how rich you think you are, no matter how beautiful you think you are, no matter how well kept, how well manicured, how whatever, me can take your man. That's how she prides herself in that, right? Um, However, certain holidays, she's not gonna see him. He's not gonna post her on social media. He's not gonna. We might not introduce her to her family members. Sometimes he does, but more than likely he would not, right? So she not go, him not go big her up like when would have big up the wifey or big up the steady girlfriend, right? So she has her place, she knows her place, and sometimes take pride in that place. Um, Nowadays, I'm seeing a shift in how women who are promiscuous, who we call promiscuous, are viewing themselves and declaring that, well, if the man has a right to play the field and get some experience, she too has a right? So there are women who are declaring and owning their sexuality and owning their right to explore. Of course, you have other women who are owning their right not to explore because they might see the benefit of not doing too much exploration. They, they might see the dangers and consider it not worth their while. So it all boils down to you as an individual, what is right for you. And if you make the decision to gain the experience of having several sexual partners, you don't see body count as an issue because that's a thing, that's a buzzword now. What's your body count? And different standards for male and female as it regards body count. You have women who are taking a stance and saying, I do not care what you think about my body count. I don't even care to share with you what my body count is. It's my business, it's my body, it's my experience, it's my life, right? So, but just know, if you come to Jamaica and we check out your runnings, we check out how you move about the place, and then you get the label, just know if you're a man and you're described as galley galley, it's a compliment. If you're a woman and you're described as money money, it's not so much of a compliment. That's just how it is here in Jamaica. All right, so the last wise saying, and this is probably the most important one that I'm looking at this week, is actually an advisory. It's a phrase of advice, and it's a take for yourself, right? Take for yourself. So literally that means take yourself away. Take yourself away. And in Jamaica, we say this to persons who are in a dangerous situation, in a potentially life-threatening situation, in a situation that is going to deplete your energy, in a toxic relationship, any kind of abusive relationship, and narcissistic type relationship. Take for yourself, right? So that means remove yourself from the situation. And that is excellent advice. You have to look at your surroundings all the time. You have to constantly be monitoring what is happening in the environment. Am I at risk? Whether it's physical risk, mental risk, spiritual risk. And be proactive. Take for yourself. Take for yourself. Remove yourself from that situation before it gets to the point where you are literally now in the midst of the danger, or it's becoming difficult for you to think, it's becoming difficult for you to be objective. You have to remove yourself before it gets to that point. You have to take for yourself before it gets to that point. So that means you have to stay alert. You have to stay calm. You have to remain objective. Sometimes it means you have to put your emotions aside and listen to your head. You have to quell that feeling in your heart, that butterfly feeling, that sentimental feeling. You have to take away yourself. And sometimes you have to take away yourself even from family members, because you have family members who are toxic. You have mothers who are toxic. You have fathers who are toxic. You have children who are toxic. You have spouses who are toxic. And you need to remove yourself from them. Believe me when I tell you, it can be your very parents. If you are in a situation where your parents are depleting you, your parents are stressing you out, you might have to take yourself away. They might have raised you a particular way, and they may have been so dominant in your life that their dogma, you inherited their dogma, you inherited whatever it is, religion, political views, lifestyle views. If you get to the point of adulthood, even if you are still under their roof, right? But you are an adult, thinking, mature, independent adult, and you're having a hard time standing your ground with your parents, if they are having a hard time understanding that you no longer agree to the things that they agree with, you no longer see eye to eye with them, and they're having a hard time accepting that, you need to remove yourself respectfully, right? Agree to disagree with your parents, because everybody is on their journey. I raise my children a particular way, and they are now adults, young adults. I have to respect the right that they have now to chart their own course, and they don't agree with everything that I taught them coming up. That nobody has lashed out against. It's not like there's this radical. There's not a radical diversion, but still there are certain things that I believe that they don't share those beliefs. I can't. Not even when they were children did I try to force it down on them. And even with my students, their ability to think for themselves is the most important thing in the teacher student relationship, right? So, yeah, even your parents, you have to take yourself away from. If your children get to the point, because remember, you are responsible for them up to a certain point, but if they now become adults and are rebelling against your principles, the principles of your household, to the point where it's going to cause chaos, you need to let them go. You need to establish that your space, your rules, and we agree to disagree. When it comes to the spouses, any situation you find yourself in, no matter how long you've been with the person, no matter how long you've been married, no matter how many children you have together, if the situation is toxic, if the situation is life threatening, take away yourself. Take away yourself. Find a way to get out of that situation. Don't think about it and say, oh my God, I've been with him so long, or I've been with her so long. We signed this agreement, we're married, we made our vows in front of man and God. What will the children say? How will the children feel? None of that is more important than your life and your peace of mind. So just take a word of advice from the citizens of this tiny little island here in the Caribbean Sea. This tiny little island where we have produced such great, such awesome men and women who have dominated affairs in the world. In Jamaica, we call it jaminate, right? We jaminate. As small as we are, we have some words of wisdom that we would like to share with the world, just as how we shared our fastest man in the world and the fastest woman in the world, and our Bob Marley and our Marcus Garvey and all these great men and women. We also have a storehouse of wisdom, these wise sayings that I'm sharing with you. And of course, I know every culture has their wise sayings. And I'm always reaching out to you to share with me what are some of the wise sayings in your neck of the woods that you have learned from and that have guided your feet along this path. What are some of the wise sayings that have kept you out of trouble? What are some of the wise sayings that have put you on that straight and narrow road towards your goals and towards your best life? And you find yourself now saying these things to your children, because that's the beauty of these folkways, right? Is these things that trickle down. We kind of sieve them and we take out the best and we pass it down, we hand it down so that generations coming after us can benefit from these words of wisdom. What are some of yours? I have tons and tons, and I'm going to keep sharing them with you every week, and we're going to see how we can process them, what we can learn from them, and what we can add to them. Until next week, this is Calm. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.